Have you ever had someone ask you tons of questions and it gets you thinking? And all of a sudden, you start seeing your path in a different way. These questions open you up as if it comes from a divine space. Well, I got you there. Maureen Xavier is part of this journey of getting these downloads from Mother Mary, and it is incredible. You wait till you see the show and you see how person after person, part of the Fresh Inspiration show is saying, oh my gosh, you're making me think about this. How would it be if I never felt bad about myself? How if I was never in my way again? So you're going to see this happening during the show. I love this powerful show and I have another star for you. And I am also in the show with a little bit more of the health coaching, not just the host spot. Hi, my name is Rhonda Liebig. I'm the founder of the Fresh Inspiration Show, and I love the show to be tantalizing and loving and allow you the freedom and the space for you to enjoy. Enjoy every moment. Mindset transformation entertainment for me is a space where you get to like go to the movies and see a fabulous movie. You go to a concert and you're like, wow, I totally forgot about these things that are happening in my life. These things are so essential right now, important for what we are dealing with. When you look at your neighbors and your family and your friends and the news and all the stuff going on, and before even last year, all the stuff that was already going on, this is what we need right now. Every month, I'm out there giving you new stuff to make that feeling of, yeah, you got this. So this month, as we release this show, I think this is the 7th episode that we are talking about also how to find balance in life. There's somebody that is in our show talking about the ULA process of having 7 plates moving in order of what would happen if you had all 7 areas of your life set and ready to go. And if one plate in your life is moving really slow, sometimes that's the way it should be. So it could be finance, and you're like, here, wait, that plate isn't moving so fast. I want it to move faster. Shannon Sundberg talks about the 7 F's. Each F represents field, which is your passion in business, which is the finance area, friends. Oh my gosh, there's so many places of if you have all 7 plates moving, and it seems so easy because you can see them labeled there, then you know you got this. You know you're going to be okay. And that you have spaces to grow too, because you have it all right there in front of you. So Shannon Sundberg is going to hold that space for you. Another thing is, I was thinking, you know what? I'm ready to get out there more for you as an energy revitalizer. So you're going to see components of me speaking about pulling out the white plate. And how would that feel if your mindset was on that white plate and you could see the stuff that's holding you back and what you need to open and let it go and create. And so I love putting light in those angles. I also pull out the white plate when we're talking about food. And I'm talking about colors and what are the colors that you are attracted to. Your inside, you know the answer to these questions. But, with a little bit of 20 years experience in the health industry, I hope that I open that up for you and you end up getting a master grocery list in this, because I'm supporting you in the health and wellness component of the 3 stars of the Fresh Inspiration Show. Enjoy, enjoy. This is Rhonda Liebig, founder of the Fresh Inspiration Show, for the Symposium podcast, ROKU TV, Fire Stick TV. I'm an AADP certified health coach, energy revitalizer, cash flow vitality coach, and I also have 2 books that are best-selling books. So think about where you want to go. Think about what inspires you. Let's go all in and enjoy a day with the Fresh Inspiration Show. Enjoy.
Fresh inspiration. Fresh inspiration. Fresh inspiration. Fresh inspiration.
That's where I love to work with people, is who you are that you may not know. So the questions I love to ask people are what if questions. So what if, and willingness questions. So, and also, so I'm acknowledging, for those of you who may not have been with me before, is I channel spirit. I've already invoked my guides here today, and I feel their energy. I feel your energy. I feel my energy. And when energy starts moving through me, I close my eyes and I start breathing. So I'm feeling the energy right here. And in the context and the intention of the hour, it's to raise our frequency, to raise our vibration. So the question that's coming through me to ask and to invite you into right now is, what if your vibration was steady and sure? How would you feel in your body? How could your body serve you? And what if your body was already serving you now? I'm going to say that one again. What if your body was already serving you now? I don't know exactly why those questions are here. I'm imagining it's intended for someone here in the audience with this in the space of their intention. And the other thing that Spirit is going to do now is we are going to do an activation for whoever is watching and whoever is desiring in the heart center. So are you willing to open your heart to a way of being that is beyond the mind space quadrant? And are you willing to reach your full potential? What might be possible for you if you were willing to reach your full potential? Where might you be spending your time and energy? What actions would you take and what actions would you stop? So let's breathe into that one deeply. What actions might you take and what actions might you stop? And then poof. Okay. I am a space of possibility that allows you to be and see in a way that is more spacious. Because we are, yes, the spacious already is. And then when we allow ourselves to be more spacious, then we can see more spaciously.
Christy Corradi, my body is serving me now, and the messages are clear when I listen.
I'm showing up here today and showing up with the intention of dreaming bigger for and holding that space for those I work with and my friends and my family. I hold that intention for them to discover their greater purpose and not settle for the overwhelm that we have in our atmosphere and community right now. And so that walking over the threshold and being in my space just really clarified for me that I need to do that for my clients and for myself, and have that grace for myself. And so my intention is to have that openness today and give as much as receive from everyone on here, and create that atmosphere of abundance and gratitude and seeking to be the best person within us. So that's where I'm at the moment after all of these great exercises. One of my best tips is, I love that you said to grab a pen and a journal. I love writing notes and things like that. And something that helps me as part of my daily practice is to have my little index card, whether it's the 3x5, if it's the larger size, and always having that forward momentum. And so on your index card, on one side, you have your 3 action tips, or your 3 action steps that are moving you towards your goals and dreams. You do 3 action steps per day. The other side is for the things that just have to happen. If they don't happen today, it'll be okay. If my laundry doesn't get done today, it will be there tomorrow. If I don't get to the grocery store today, that will be okay. So my best tip is always writing, whether it's you do it at night and reflect on the day you had, or do it in the morning if you're a morning person and you reflect on how you want to get your day started. You write those 3 action steps that are going to keep your momentum going towards your goals and your dreams. So that is, and at the end of a year, you've taken over 1,000 steps. And as you take more and more steps, the momentum is more consistent. There's not that stop, start. And as we add in things that accelerate us, then instead of just these hesitant, it's like learning to walk. You're going to fall down a couple of times, probably more than a couple of times, but you crawl, you stumble, and eventually you learn to walk, and then you learn to run, and that momentum is going. And so getting started and working towards those goals and dreams is the same concept. And so my card helps I get my 3 action steps done every single day. If I do nothing else, we're eating pizza tonight, but I got my action steps in, and that's going to create momentum for now and for in the future.
Deb Turnus says, I love the idea of the 3 things specifically focused on working towards dreams and goals. Today, you get to find out how you get to be unstuck. So did you feel that with Shannon and Maureen? And while we were in the mindset room, and so Shannon gave you a tip, Maureen had some questions for you. We're just building this for you. We're building. We have another threshold. We are in the 9 a.m. Pacific time space. Now, in this threshold is where you get the opportunity to be with Shannon Sundberg. Reiki, open up the frequency for you. Acknowledging that she has these 7 F's and she has these plates and there's 7 and they move and one may drop. And what's going to happen if they drop? She's going to give you more insight, but there's so much truth in that space. If you allow a plate to drop, that's where we get here. That's where we get in the space where we like, why am I letting that happen? How did that happen back here? So Shannon Sundberg is going to give you the space to get all 7 plates twirling and understanding why that's important and understanding what it means. So we're going to give definition to that. This is known as being an ULA life coach. She's going to bring that expertise in. Another thing that's an expert about Shannon. She gets you. She knows vast knowledge about herbs, about essential oils that are infused to be able to balance when you don't feel so good. Not just in the physical body, but in the mind. Have you ever felt that? You can't get out of this headspace? You feel sad or you feel scared or a relationship isn't working for you. How about if you put on your valor and you felt like you were strong? And by the way, Shannon, the only reason why I know about valor is because Shannon talks a lot about the emotional space and the oils you need to bring along so that you feel like you're in charge. Bum, ba-da-lum, bum, bum, bum. Bum, ba-da-lum, bum, bum, bum. I am in charge. Bum, ba-da-lum, bum, bum, bum. Bum, ba. You see where I'm going with that? Yeah. That's what I'm here for, entertaining. I'm the host, and I'm going to host Shannon right now. Shannon, you come in, and I would love to hear your opening.
I'm a certified aromatherapist. I am a certified ULA life coach. And I love what I do. And I love sharing it with people because I know as a mom, a wife, a businesswoman, we have so many opportunities to stumble. And we are hard on ourselves when that happens. And so creating a mindset for ourselves and having that compassion for ourselves is so important. And I love working with women because we do have so many plates. And whether you want to say I wear so many hats, we have so many plates that we have to keep spinning. We are a one-man show or a one-woman show. And the plates that we need to keep spinning, their momentum all affects other plates. So the 7 F's of ULA, the 7 areas of life that all interact, they're fitness, finance, family, field, as in career, occupation, job, faith, friends, and fun. And you may say how, like, some of these don't really pertain to each other, but they do, because the momentum of each plate interacts and can help you keep another plate spinning. And so I love supporting taking a look at each of these areas, seeing where you're strong and where you struggle, and then taking those strengths to build and support the momentum of the areas that you struggle in, and determining where you're at and where you want to go. So where are you right now? Where are you in your, are you where you expected to be? Are you having forward momentum towards your goals and your dreams? Are you dreaming big enough? And that's where I come in, and someone may say, my dream is to have a vacation next year. My dream for you is that you take a vacation every year. And so dreaming bigger and holding that space for you to expand and then use the tools of the index card and your 3 steps, helping you determine where you're at and where you want to go. Because if you don't know where you're at, how are you going to get there? And then determining that pathway. And it's not always a straight line. It can be a little curvy. There can be a little detour, but there's always forward momentum. And that's where those action steps come in on the daily basis. You're always taking an action step towards one of your goals.
Deb Turner says, I love the visual of the spinning plates. And that's when it feels like for sure, like I can physically see it.
It can seem very overwhelming because you're like, wait, I have 7 things I need to keep track of every single day. And wait, where am I? And that is what is so great about working with someone, because there is accountability and guidance to keep you focused on your plates. And you may not, on a daily basis, you will touch all 7 plates, but there may be a day where you are just over there spinning that fitness plate. You set a goal for training to do a half marathon. You can barely get to the top of your driveway right now. And so what will happen is you will set these milestone, this pathway to that goal. And how are you going to get there? Well, your fitness goal, you need to start doing some kind of training. Who are you going to do it with? Are you going to do it with friends? You always need a community. You need your support. And that comes in the form of your coach, your family, your friends, and sharing what you're doing. Hey, I'm going to be training for this half marathon. Now your finances will come into play. Can you afford to hire a private trainer to get you there? Or is your budget, hey, I need to, join a gym and run on the treadmill? Or is your budget, hey, I have to go and run around my neighborhood? And figuring out where that finance comes in. So making that budget, looking at your field. The statistics say that 55 to 70% hate their jobs. They go somewhere every day for 1/3 of their day or more and don't like it and don't want to be there and dread waking up and having to go there. So field, if you're in that place that you're struggling, you need to evaluate that for yourself and balance that happiness with how is that affecting your family? How is that affecting your fun and your friends? Maybe it's allowing your finances to be amazing, but how is that affecting you physically and mentally and emotionally when you come home to your family or go and hang out with your friends? So these plates all intermingle. And so maybe you make little changes and you make plans for, hey, now I'm more active. I'm able to walk around the block and not just to my mailbox. My spouse, my partner, my child, my friend, they're walking with me to encourage me and to support me. So now it's a little bit more fun and I'm being more active. I'm having more energy. Gosh, I really love doing XYZ over here. I'm going to take a course in this or get certified, or I'm going to go back to school. And that happiness factor, that high frequency, that high vibe is, and then you start adding in, there's always bumps along the road. There's fear, these little things that can block us. If, limiting beliefs, like being told, you can't do that. That's not a real career. Or is it?
Maureen, would you like to, you've been asking questions. Would you like to share your experience with Shannon today?
It literally feels, the description of how it feels is where I have attachments or where I'm still stuck in mind space or thought space or misperception space. It's kind of like, like an orange, the in between, the part that's covering the orange. And this is actually stronger than that, but the part, this, not the outer skin, but the skin between the oranges that covers up the juicy part. It's like I can feel the parts that are separating the orange. Like those are still places that aren't in the flow in me.
I'm feeling that. Coming in this hour, how would you like to open that up? Feeling the strings in the orange and being able to know headspace and flow.
So for me, the way I open that up is when I allow myself to go deeper. So maybe kind of advanced, but for people, what I do is I consciously surrender my mind. So I consciously choose to surrender and allow my energy to drop in to the space so that I may hear the words that are there, I may feel the feelings that are there, the stories that are there, the pictures that may come to my mind. And that's a different place than speaking. What am I attached to, or what are the attachments I have that are creating those sensations? So that's a resource for the mind to start looking at what may be creating the sensation. What is blocking me from knowing my true self? What if everything already was taken care of? What have you been being that love is?
I think I have to break that down for myself. So, what about for you, audience? When I think of being, I feel love in my body. In basic terms, that there is no sickness in my body. I can't feel anything of any aches. That the flow, that my body feels like physically feels slender and toned. In the visualization, I can see my spirit of the work that I do being able to like I'm pumping like a heart, like I'm the pumping of the energy and the flow seems to be relaxed, and that brings up more energy for me.
So I want to make sure I understand you with what you said. When I asked you what you have been being love is, you had a description of feelings and visualizations. Is that right?
Yes.
So that's part of what happens and why sometimes we have fear about allowing ourselves to be taken care of by love, because love is, so this is what I have belief in, love is everything. Love is who we are. Love is prior to and senior to our thoughts, our beliefs, our feelings, our body. That it's from love that all is created. And when we have I'd say, I don't know, all I can see is speak for me and the people I know is most of the people walking the planet right now don't know this, or don't live that love is all of it. They live as if love is a relationship with a parent. They live that love is a feeling. They live that love is a visualization. So if they have any memory or attachment to love being a certain feeling, love being a certain relationship, love being heartbroken because you were let down by your parents or a boyfriend or an ex-husband, turning themselves over to love is scary. It doesn't feel safe. It doesn't feel predictable. It feels like there's outcomes that they have no control over. So it's not easy to do. Is there any feeling that you fear having that might limit your existence?
Say that again, Maureen. Make sure the audience kind of feels that vibe to the question.
Is there any feeling
Mhm.
that you fear having that may limit your existence?
Yeah, comes right
Is,
to me.
is it safe for you to feel completely? So I want to go circle back. So did you say there was a feeling that you have fear about?
I didn't know it until you asked. Yeah. But I do know it because it's what used to show up a lot. It doesn't show up very much, but it's a perfect question for the audience to answer for themselves too. My fear is not being good enough. And I've done and consistently will be making sure that I work on that, but it shows up. So that could be when you said that, that was the first thing that came to my mind. The fear of not good enough. So that is that part that if I am not if I'm in fear of that, then there's going to be a protector and I'm not 100% in being. Is that accurate? Am I following
Yeah.
that, Maureen?
Yeah. Yes. When we have a fear, energy's moving right now, so I'm being with the energy.
Please, my friend.
This is spirit talking through me. When one has emotions, energy, friction, or bias that they avoid knowing more about, they develop resistance. And resistance becomes an energy block that they then have to move around in order to feel better. So if anyone here has something they keep bumping into, it was created by a feeling or a memory of not being enough in some way, or other category or belief that they're trying to uphold a certain standard or way of being in order to feel better. Is that understandable?
So audience, you have that question and the flow for yourself. Make sure you're writing in your journal, make sure you're speaking here. Maureen, when you were saying, so audience, you can come along with me and write and do what you need to do for yourself. Keep in this flow for yourself. I'm walking. You said when there's something that's in the way, and then and you walk around it. It's almost like I could easily leave that block right there and then have to come visit it again. Or what you're helping me open in the way that you're asking the question is maybe I want to, make sure I don't just step around that block. But no, but at least acknowledge it's there. Because for that moment, I may walk around. So I saw my body walk around it. And then you kept flowing here. And I know that if I don't feel, and tell me how you feel about this, I don't feel like it stops me from showing up for the day. Because and this is something that I do, I work on, like making sure I feel the release and fully open here. But I do know that while I'm running this show, there's a component there that was closed, but I can't start my day unless I feel that flow. Not feeling good enough is very tricky because it comes in different ways. So what I'm feeling is when you ask that question, is making sure that the show, goes the way that is supporting. And I think of all the flow of who it's supporting. So I see spirits there. And so if I allow that to go, then it gives me the being and being present so that I get to watch things unravel instead of just being the host and making sure I'm catching and grabbing things, but allowing to be able to see and hear in the be way.
Because it allows you to be present with what is really here. That's part of what happens is we have filters. In your case, it was a fear of not feeling good enough, that then you are in the presence. There's a little tug there that behaves in a certain way as a protection or an avoidance of feeling not good enough. And then you listen through the ears of, I'm afraid I'm not good enough, so I feel I need to do X, Y, Z. So that's literally you hear life, you hear what's available to you through the ears of I'm not good enough, or I'm afraid I'm not good enough. And then we develop coping strategies.
Mm-hmm.
And we start, that's part of the perfectionist syndrome that I've had for all, still working with. Perfectionist syndrome was totally, I wanted to be perfect to avoid the not being, the fear of that I believed I wasn't, I was that I wasn't good enough. I was that I was wrong. So I developed behaviors and strategies to look a certain way because I thought looking a certain way was going to get me what I really wanted. But no, that's not what I really wanted. I really wanted to know that I am good enough.
Mm. So someone said, I fear the feeling of resentment. So as we're going through, we tell stories and people get to open up for themselves. You've been downloading these questions, and so there's an unclog going here. So the feeling of resentment, having bumped into it for years, I'm grateful that I've worked through it. And however, situations can trigger it. So true. Giving Maureen some space to be able to feel that. To feel resentment again is scary. Some was mine, and some was felt from another. Love that it could be a pathway to trust myself. Another comment, such powerful questions because they kept coming, and it was like going down a pathway, and it was like sometimes I felt like I wanted to detour from a question. All of a sudden another question came. It was like, nope, back on that path. So powerful the way that it came out. Someone said, love is everywhere. It comes in many shapes and forms. Love is all around if you allow yourself to feel it. I've been allowing myself to be present in every moment, to feel that all that surrounds me and break through the barriers that stand in my way. That was the love one. We have more resentment stuff. I fear the feeling of not having a picture perfect life. Maureen,
You want to go there?
that makes me want to, that opens up, makes me want to cry hearing that because that's so divine. Being a stay-at-home mom, I felt, yes, I think this is the spot here. I felt I needed to have a perfect clean house, the perfect kids, and have my own life together 100% at the time. I was spending so much time trying to look perfect.
We imagine we've got the tape going in our head about what we think other people may think about us, right? And then sometimes those tapes were like given to us in utero. Sometimes we energetically are living the thoughts and beliefs of our mother or her ancestry, because we are birthed, like we are gestated in our mother's energetic flow and the dynamics of the family environment when we're being created. And our mother's energy is also comes from ancestry and ancestry and ancestry and ancestry back. So sometimes we grow up thinking thinking the thoughts that we think that are ours weren't even ours to begin with. So part of it is like literally that's part of what I do with people every day, is sometimes to dissect this thought you have about and to take it back, what other people think about you. Is that actually even your thought? Is it still a thought that what you were born with that came from your mother that you don't realize isn't yours? Or in the cases of, as a child, where I can speak for myself here. I grew up in an alcoholic family. There was danger of verbal abuse. There was danger of physical abuse. So I spent my entire life as a child always worrying about what my mother thought, because my job was like to make her to think about what she was thinking before she thought it, so I could make her feel happy, because then when my parents were happy, I felt better. Our house had the more of a possibility to be safe. So me thinking or imagining that I knew what my mother thought and then behaving in a way that I thought would make her feel good was a way I kept myself safe. So my idea of perfection was I was always thinking about what other people would think about me and then creating a picture of what I thought other people would like to see so that I could feel safe.
Spot on. And this is how this person answers spot on questions that stop you in your tracks and make you go, wow, so powerful. Maureen, I see alignment with you on this. Is when I came home after doing years of accounting, and I knew I was going in a new dimension, new space. I cried. I thought about all those hours almost every day working on trying to discover what that person was thinking that I was in the room with, so I could act out whatever I needed to make sure that they felt safe, to make sure that they liked me, to make sure that I was able to have a friend, afraid of, maybe not having enough friends and people liking me. All those questions you were speaking to for somebody else in our show watching, these things were coming up for me, and that was a very big breakthrough. Right now, as I'm feeling it, the awareness of that, the angle that you're going at this is feeling like I get to see it at a different angle and visit this. This could be one of my blockers. Come with me right now, because we're in our passion. We've been starting to say what that yes looks like. The yes. So I want to speak about the yes. But what if you had every day where you're like, oh my God, oh my goodness, I'm living my life. Holy moly, I get to wake up and I get to play. And it's so big. Life is so big. Life is so big. Oh my goodness. And you can feel, does everybody feel the energy shift? You can feel like, why am I not living in my passion? Judgment, let it go. But what about it's time? So hopefully through this space, and I'm saying hopefully, I'm just making sure that I'm not missing any comments here. I can feel that flow that's starting to open up for you. Keep allowing. And then a big hammer, bam, bam. And then you start getting the big, open up the machine, and you're just ready. And all of a sudden your path shows something different. Because it was all low-hanging fruit, but we kept saying no. And we didn't know how to receive. So now, Y-E-S, yes. Yes, I can feel it. Here, wait, I couldn't feel that yes before. My table's moving up. I couldn't feel that yes before. Right, because that's what we're here for. The yes, to receive. I want your earthly body right here now, opening your arms and partnering. Every time you say yes, then you are doing your work, but you get to get out there with your work, and you get to see Shannon Sundberg, you get to see Maureen Xavier, you get to see Rhonda Liebig holding arms with you, and anybody else that says yes to themselves. Can you receive that? Take a deep breath in. I hope that door opens for you. I'm interested. Did you get what you wanted out of the show? Did you get all the downloads and answer those questions that Maureen Xavier was asking you? Those downloads are so divine. It's helped so many people open up their space. And you're going to find that Maureen is growing also. She gets the downloads, but her in the human space is learning a lot about herself too. Isn't that true of all of us? So there's never looking down upon somebody. It's that you get to be in your space of growing in your divine space. What'd you think of Shannon Sundberg's plates that are moving? What'd you think about that? I would love to hear from you. And so you have ways to contact us. During the episode at the end, we give you information how to do that. And I would love to hear from you. The Fresh Inspiration Show is ran on not you being seen as numbers, but as bringing the frequency up so the right people show up. You are here in the right place. What are you going to do with all this inspiration that you received? You have 3 people that you can connect with: Maureen Xavier, Shannon Sundberg, and Rhonda Liebig. So let's get it going. This is the Divine Space. I'd love to hear your experience with the Fresh Inspiration Show. Namaste.